Yo, what's good YouTube? It's Christian. I'm back again with another reaction video, and today we got a different channel we're reacting to. We're reacting to the famous WatchMojo.com, and you know they're famous for like their whole top 10s and all that shit. And today we're gonna watch top 10 craziest things that Pablo Escobar has done. You guys all know Pablo Escobar. He's probably one of the most famous cartel bosses aside from El Chapo, and I think he has that whole like Narcos show, right? I've never seen that show once in my life, so everything that happens in the show I have no idea what the fuck's going on, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna show some things from the show just because that's like the only things they like have like video of and shit, if that makes sense. But I also don't know, I've never reacted to their channel before, so I don't know if they're gonna copyright my shit, so let's pray to God they don't fucking could do that. But anyways, if you guys been enjoying these videos, can you guys do me a favor and please smash that like button and smash that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 100k. I don't know when I'm gonna hit it, but fuck it, hey, we all start somewhere, right? Enough talking, let's just get it popping. Plata. Like I said, I've never seen Narcos, so.
And today we're
what's the deal, Rebecca?
For the top 10 most insane
Tell me something
and
new.
Things Pablo Escobar ever did.
Dígale que no me contento con menos de 30.
I don't know of another criminal who was properly accused of blowing up a commercial airline.
Damn.
Mr. Escobar, are you talking to me about human rights?
For this list, we're looking at the craziest crimes the cartel leader committed.
Wasn't he like
Which of these things do you
one of the
find
richest
most
people
insane?
at the time?
Let us know in the comments
Bro
below.
had hippos in
Number
his
10,
fucking
kidnapping
yard and
powerful
shit.
people. Pablo Escobar may not have personally snatched people from the streets, but he was the one pulling the strings. The Medellin cartel he led was well known for kidnapping prominent individuals such as politicians, journalists, and children. In January 1990, the cartel kidnapped the son of the Colombian president's advisor. The kidnapping was ordered by Escobar to retaliate against the president's recent crackdown on drugs.
You know what's crazy is like you can just be like a son or a daughter of one of the higher ups, they'll still fucking like go after you, and I feel like it's scary to be one of the son or daughters of the higher ups because they can just come after you just because they're fucking your dad or your mom did some shit, you know?
Numerous people
that they didn't like
under Escobar's orders. Future Minister for Education Maruja Pachon Castro and journalists Francisco Santos Calderon and Diana Turbay were all held hostage. Unfortunately, Turbay tragically died while the police were trying to rescue her.
Guys, we have a problem.
She probably got shot or something.
Number 9. Relying on a notorious hitman. Jairo Velasquez, who went by the nickname Popeye, was a prominent hitman who worked with the Medellin cartel. While he was doing jobs for them, he was forced to assassinate his lover and Escobar's ex-lover, Wendy Chavarriaga Gil.
That's deep.
Eventually admitted to killing over 250 people before he surrendered to the police in 1992. He was also responsible for the aforementioned kidnapping of Francisco Santos Calderon. Popeye served 22 years in prison for his numerous crimes that ranged from murder.
He only served 22 years for being a hitman and probably all that drug shit and all the murders and stuff. That is fucking crazy. I feel like they had some strings to pull to only get him 22 years.
Helping plant a bomb. After his release in 2014, Velasquez published a book, appeared in Narcos, and became a YouTube personality. He was eventually sent to jail again and died of esophageal cancer in 2020.
He became a YouTuber after being a fucking Pablo Escobar's hitman?
Even those close to Pablo Escobar had reason to fear him. As we touched on before, he personally ordered the death of his ex-lover, Wendy Chavarriaga Gil. But his romantic interests weren't the only ones that faced Escobar's ire.
Dígale que no me contento con menos de 30. 30 millones.
A waiter was once caught stealing silverware from Escobar's home. In retaliation, the cartel leader had the employee drowned in the swimming pool. He also killed associates Gerardo Moncada and Fernando Galliano after accusing them of stealing money. Escobar's paranoia and brutality eventually grew so bad
taking a fork
turned against him.
Drown him in a pool.
A vigilante group called Los Pepes. Financed by the Cali cartel, the group...
Bro, you know how heated I'd be if I was like, if I say like I brought my lunch to work one day and I needed a fork and I seen a fork on the table and I was like, I'll use the fork, but I'll put it back. So I take the fork and then they drown me in a pool, bro.
to eliminate
Jesus
Escobar
Christ.
and his operations. Number 7. Forcing a woman to terminate her pregnancy. For 6 years throughout the 1980s, a TV reporter named Virginia Vallejo was romantically linked to Escobar. And despite falling for the powerful man, she later called him a monster. Vallejo began to disassociate from Escobar after he told her a particularly heinous and chilling story. One of his former lovers, believed to be the aforementioned Wendy Chavarriaga Hill, became pregnant without his approval. In retaliation, Escobar had this woman kidnapped by 4 associates and taken to a veterinarian to forcefully terminate the pregnancy.
Took her to a fucking vet? Bro, what?
The abortion was allegedly performed without anesthetic before Escobar ordered her death.
That's
This action prompted Vallejo to contact the authorities just 6 days before the cartel leader met his end. Number 6. Being connected to Luis Carlos Jalan's murder. Presidential candidate Luis Carlos Jalan was a very public opponent of both the Medellin cartel and Pablo Escobar. In addition to denouncing them in campaign speeches, Jalan aimed to support an extradition treaty that would see cartel members extradited to the U.S. to face punishment. The cartel was extremely unhappy with his words, and they repeatedly sent him death threats. They even threatened to go after his children if he didn't stop. While campaigning, Jalan was explicitly warned by the authorities not to visit the town of Suacha, but he went ahead anyway. Jalan was subsequently gunned down in front of 10,000 people, walking on stage to give a speech. Number 5. Supporting M19.
Oh my God is right.
On November 6, 1985, members of guerrilla group M19 besieged the Palace of Justice in Bogota, which houses...
See, when I see shit like this, bro, it deadass, like, it blows my mind that it's real because it looks like a Call of Duty campaign. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only place that I've ever experienced that type of stuff is fucking Call of Duty campaign. You seen all this shit going on in TJ right now, bro? That's actually crazy. Like, the CJNG, they're going crazy right now with that shit. I don't even know, like why they're doing it. Actually, I do know why they're doing it. I think I seen a message that I think someone wrote on a wall or something, but it's honestly pretty fucking crazy.
Colombia. The Colombian military stormed the palace in an attempt to rescue the hostages. By the end of the ordeal, much of the building had been destroyed, and over 100 people were dead, including 43 civilians and 11 Supreme Court justices. The siege has not been officially linked to the Medellin cartel, but some have claimed otherwise. Escobar's own son claims that his father paid the guerrilla organization $1 million to support their cause.
This was Escobar, classic. He's cut a deal with M19. Next you'll tell us Escobar sank the Titanic.
This was verified by Escobar's ex-lover, Virginia Vallejo, who testified in court that Escobar had personally financed the group so they could steal important files from the Supreme Court. Number 4. Destroying Avianca Flight 203. On November 27,
oh, this is what they were talking about in the beginning.
Avianca Flight 203 was flying from Bogota to Cali with 107 people on board.
He died. Oh, what are you talking about?
Believing that presidential candidate Cesar Gaviria would be one of the passengers, Escobar plotted to blow up the plane.
Just because one person was on that plane you want to kill, you blew up 100 other people.
Said that one of his associates boarded the plane with plastic explosives and sat above the fuel tank to cause a massive explosion.
Damn. They killed themselves?
The plane did explode, killing everyone on board, and the raining debris killed a further 3 civilians on the ground.
That's
But Escobar later discovered that Gaviria was never on board that plane. Gaviria subsequently became president. And after 2 Americans died in the bombing, President George Bush Sr.'s administration became invested in stopping Escobar. Number 3. A series of horrific bombings.
Todos los problemas se deben a los gringos imperialistas.
Amidst increasing fears of extradition to the United States, the Medellin cartel and their associates created an organization known as the Extraditables. Their aim was mainly to ban extradition.
Mejor una tumba en Colombia o una cárcel en los Estados Unidos. ¿Qué te parece?
The group began its life publishing ads in newspapers and corrupting politicians, but their actions eventually escalated into horrific violence. This included a brutal reign of terror that saw the Extraditables and cartel members setting off numerous bombs in 1990. The year prior, the Medellin cartel planted a bomb outside the headquarters of the Administrative Department of Security. This detonation leveled 14 city blocks.
Damn!
When the dust settled, 63 people were dead and over 2,000 were injured.
Is he like, you know how there's a lot of cartel bosses like throughout time, right? Is he like one of the deadliest and like the most, I don't know if he, like, he's respected, right? Obviously the most respected one. Like, he's probably, is he like one of the kings of the cartel bosses, or was that El Chapo, or was there other people that were considered that? I don't know.
Came just 9 days after that of Avianca Flight 2.
Because I don't know how long like cartels went back. Like, we have a lot of history, right, in this world. Even like there's some that we don't even know of. How long or when did cartels start? Like, they obviously weren't always called cartels. They were just like groups and shit. You feel me? Like during the ancient days, like what was going on? I'm pretty sure there was shit like this too.
Number 2, police officer bounty. The authorities were incredibly interested in Pablo Escobar, his cartel, and his terrorist acts. Unfortunately, many within the police
that guy on the left
were in
looks
Escobar's
fake.
deep pockets.
Yo soy Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. Mis ojos están en todos lados, o sea, ustedes no pueden hacer una puta sola mierda en el departamento de Antioquia sin que yo me entere. Sí, señores, no pueden mover un dedo.
Many other officers outside his payroll were routinely murdered. Escobar offered the equivalent of $700 in today's American currency as a bonus to his hitmen for each police officer they assassinated. Unfortunately, the people under his employ
this was in the
didn't adapt to
90s.
this incentive. It's estimated that nearly 600 police officers met their demise at the hands of
Wasn't he
Escobar's
like a
hitmen.
billionaire?
Knowing that the cartel leader was willing to pay out these incentives shows how morally bankrupt he was. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, thousands of deaths. It's not clear just how many people died at the hands of Pablo Escobar and his cartel.
Por lo que he visto no quiere parar.
With that said, estimates have placed the number between 4,000 and 5,000 fatalities. This staggering statistic came about through all the means we mentioned.
I honestly think it's more than that, because when the video we did on yesterday of El Chapo's hitman, one of them had like 4,000 plus. So I'm assuming that he has way more than that. Not even that just he killed personally, but just like he like told people to kill, you know?
And permitted numerous bombings. At one time, Escobar's reign made Medellin, the cartel's home base, one of the world's most violent cities. After Escobar's death in 1991, crime rates in the city began to fall. Medellin was finally free of one of the most dangerous men in modern history.
¡Viva Colombia! ¡Matamos a Pablo Escobar!
You know how long they were probably trying to kill bro for? And like, what did they say 19? They said something. But that's crazy, bro. Like, it's been years. It's been over 20 years and people are still like making videos about him, talking to him like he barely died like a couple years ago. That's how big of an impact he had on the world, bro. Like, I feel like when people like want to become like cartel bosses and shit like that, they aim to be like the El Chapos or the Pablo Escobars, just because of how much power they've held over everyone. Pablo Escobar says something, boom, it gets done. El Chapo says something, boom, it gets done right away, no questions asked. And it's like no one really goes against them, and if you go against them, you die. Like, you die a brutal death, you get tortured and shit. Like, we've seen it for ourselves. My advice is don't go against them. They're scary, bro. The cartels are scary. Like, this is like one of the most scariest things in the world, no cap. But anyways, comment down below what you guys want me to react to next. Subscribe for new. Like this video if you enjoyed it. I'm out.
Sorry,
Peace.
girl, I gotta go.